Okay, this video is about CNN fake news. I was shocked at how ridiculous these stories are today. There's going to be 4 of them that I'm going to point out. One of them here is worked to the bone, fired for getting cancer. Not true. We'll get to that in a moment. Another one says, if not for women, there'd be no tequila. That's not true. Another one says, bakery helps women rise above abuse. It's just not true. And then over here, women fired on phone while in labor still fights for her job. Do you really think a woman's going to answer the phone while in labor? I mean, come on. So this one is just stupid. I mean, no one's going to answer the phone while she's in labor. She was fired because there was a law that said if she gets pregnant within her first 3 years working for the fire service, that she could be fired. That was the rule, and that's what she did, so she got fired. I find it hard to believe that she was fired while she was having labor over the phone or something. It just sounds misleading. Okay, now obviously the big story is going to be this one about the woman fired from getting cancer. So I'm going to get straight to this one. Okay, this is just a complete lie. It's just not true. We're going to look at it, what it says. It says, worked to the bone, fired for getting cancer. Now, keep in mind, the story really doesn't address the part about being worked to the bone. It talks about fired for getting cancer, and I'm going to show you that it's not true. We're going to scroll down to this letter and watch what it says. It says that they wanted to terminate her employment. She was a domestic helper, which means she was a maid, a live-in maid. So it says reason for termination. It says diagnosed with cervical cancer. It's okay, but look at what it says. She went to the hospital on the 25th for 2 days. She had recommended sick leave until the 14th. She could have when you're a domestic helper, you live at your employer's house. They have a room for you. It says, despite our insistence, you stayed at your sister's house during your sick leave, out of contact, and they repeatedly asked the sister for the whereabouts. She said that she would return on the 14th. They contacted her, but she did not respond. And at 8 p.m., they spoke to the sister, and only then did they respond to the call. And she said something about going to the hospital and being in cancer, but that's the day she's supposed to return back to work. She didn't get fired because she was diagnosed for cancer. She got fired because she didn't return to work on the day that her sick leave was over, and they couldn't communicate with her in the time. And it says over here effective on the 19th, which means that they probably waited a few days until after this happened. You know, if this were the 14th, it would have said effective the 14th. So it's obviously fake news. Let's move on to the next one. For women in India, Fine Bakery provides a chance to rise above poverty and abuse. This is just one of the dumbest stories. And of course, it's got to be a feminist. And there she is right there. You notice that she's a white woman. She's a French woman. So she's spreading her feminism to India. Basically, what she did was she opened a bakery and she hired some women. Does that sound like she's helping them rise above abuse? There's the bakery. Wow, she employed some people to work at her bakery. Unbelievable. And we're going to look at the title again. Bakery helps women rise above abuse. Okay, so here's the next one. If not for women, there'd be no tequila. Well, this is BS. It's just complete bull. This is a story that says that men... Okay, they have a certain product that they have to farm, and the men do all the work, but guess what? Sometimes the men take a break. They'll take a break. You know, in Mexico, when it's hot, from maybe noon till 2, they take a siesta for 2 hours. It's too hot to work out in the fields. And I've been to countries like Spain and Mexico. Spain is like a desert. It's literally like living in a desert. And in Mexico, there's the parts that I were in, it was like being in a desert. So they take a break for a few hours during the hot sun, and the women, at least on one occasion, worked while the men were taking a break. Does that mean that without women there'd be no tequila? I mean, it's just nonsense. And not only that, it talks about how people are certified Okay, here it is. There are a lot of men, but no more than 10 certified as a master of tequila. If there's only 10 but lots of men, then how is it that these 10 women are integral to the production of tequila? They aren't. It's just bull. Okay, so that's another day of CNN being garbage. There's probably other garbage stories in here. Let's see. Okay, the Royals crack down on racist Meghan abuse. It's it's not. This is a spin. If you read the story, there's only a little bit of it that's racist in nature. They're complaining for the most part about people attacking Meghan, but it's not about racism. They use a few examples that were racist. I guess maybe her father might be black or something like that. I'm not sure. But most of the abuse had nothing to do with racism. And what they're doing is they're doing this because they know that that's what sells. If they take that word out, nobody's going to care. Let's see if there's anything else. The Dutch woman on the brink of sailing history. I would love to see that. Okay, if you have any questions or comments, please post below.